Hi, my name is Rakesh Singh and I welcome you on this introductory course on jQuery. Thank you so much for joining Naresh IT Technologies video session. This video is designed for software programmers who wants to learn the basics of jQuery in simple and easy ways. This video will give you enough understanding on introduction of jQuery with suitable examples. Let's begin by the first and obvious question, what is jQuery? Because we are going to discuss about introduction to jQuery. So we should know the first and basic question, what exactly is jQuery? So jQuery is a lightweight cross-browser JavaScript library that simplifies programming with JavaScript. And JavaScript used for the client side scripting. So what do we mean about this first point? jQuery is a lightweight cross-browser JavaScript library. Means it is a just JavaScript library which comes in the form of .js file. This .js file size, the length of the file is very smaller size, hardly approximately 80 to 90 KB. That's what we call as a lightweight. That makes our programming with JavaScript more simple and more easy way. jQuery is the most popular JavaScript library in use today among all the other JavaScript library which are already exist. It has one slogan given by the jQuery author and all his teammates. It's called a write less, do more library. So it is also called a write less, do more library. It is a free library, means doesn't require to pay the license fees for that. It can be used by the commercial people, it can be used by the non-commercial people. It is open source and it comes as a collection of handy functions and methods that can accelerate your JavaScript development. Means that can make a JavaScript development to be faster with the help of the handy functions which comes in this jQuery library. jQuery makes it much easier to use JavaScript on your website. And everyone knows that whenever we develop any website, nothing but also call a web application development, in which we may require in some circumstances to develop a client side program which always gets executed on the client machine. And that client side program we do since decade, means more than 10 years, with the help of one programming language, or I can say with the help of one client side script language called JavaScript. So the program which we are writing in the JavaScript, that program only we are going to make to do it in a simplified way by using the jQuery library. So we are saying jQuery is a JavaScript library designed to simplify various tasks by writing less lines of code. So the code what we write earlier using JavaScript, that code size is going to be reduced with the less lines of code, just because of there are plenty of ready-made functions are available that makes our task to be easier. jQuery also simplifies a lot of complicated things from JavaScript. Like in JavaScript we do some complicated thing, AJAX call to the server. What do you mean about AJAX? It stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. I hope you have a little bit awareness. A traditional approach of any website allows to make a communication between client and server to client synchronously, in which once a end user from the client side raise a request to the server, then server does the whole process and then response to be back to the client with the whole page reloads. Means if a user click on the button, then request going to server and server does entire process. Till that a user has to wait response to be completed, then only they can perform some other task. But if you make a asynchronous request to the server, if you click on a button, then only the button click operation is going to be happen at server side and response create, and the particular portion in which portion the response has to display, only that is going to reload, remaining page is not going to reload. So looks like it is happening on client side, but reality it is happen at what side? Server side. So already this AJAX call we used to make in a JavaScript, but the code we write more complicated and the code become more complex. That we can do it by using jQuery library with a very simple line of code, because to make a AJAX call it has plenty of a predefined function that do this task in a very simple and easy way. As well as we can do the DOM manipulation in also very easy way with the help of DOM manipulation irrespective functions which are exist in the jQuery library. So this is all about what is jQuery. Now we will discuss about official definition of jQuery according to jQuery.com, which is an official website provided by jQuery author and their teammates. jQuery is a fast, a small and feature rich JavaScript library. It makes things like HTML document traversal, means how to traverse in the document to all the certain elements which are exist in the tree like structure, and manipulation work, event handling operations, providing the animation on the document, and AJAX interaction, nothing but making AJAX call to the server for rapid web development, and it is much simpler with an easy to use API here called as a library that works across a multitude of browsers. As I told you in earlier definition, jQuery is a lightweight cross browser JavaScript library, means it has support for the all modern browser as well as all the older browser like i6, i7, i8. With a combination of versatility and extensibility, jQuery has changed the way that millions of people write JavaScript code. Even though jQuery existing functionality can be extended more bigger level with the help of some plugin support, and it is purely provided to make JavaScript programming only in a different way, and that way has been changed how people write earlier JavaScript code, and that changed makes people to feel it is simple and easy to use our JavaScript programming in our website development. Next, the discussion we have to do it, who has created this library, means who is the author of this jQuery library. So jQuery library created by one person, the name is John Rage from USA. So it was released in January 2006 initially at Barcamp, New York by John Rage. What is a Barcamp? Barcamp is nothing but just a place where this has been implemented. So Barcamp is an international network of user generated conferences primarily focused around technology and the web. John works on jQuery and he was influenced by a number of projects like Dean Edwards CSS query, Simon Wilson's Get Elements by Selectors, and Prototype.js. So from these all projects he was already influenced in order to make his own library, which makes JavaScript programming to be very simple and easy way. It is currently maintained by a team of developers led by Timmy Wilson. He is leading the team to make all updates in the jQuery. Now let us discuss about what is the objective of jQuery. What objective I have to use jQuery in my development, and of course website development. It is design and build rich interactive web applications, creating interactive user interface. The jQuery library makes it easy to manipulate a page of HTML after displayed by the browser. Means once the page what coming from the server, if it is displayed by the browser at client side, then it is easy to manipulate. It is to what modify the page content. I can add some new element on the page. I can remove some existing element from the page. I can add some content. I can append some content. I can insert some content either before, either after. We can fetch some value. We can remove some value. These all we can do easily. It also provides tools that help you listen for a user, to interact with your page, tools that help you to create some animations in your page, and tools that let you communicate with a server without reloading the whole page. Is nothing but Ajax call. Next question arises in the jQuery discussion, why jQuery I should use. So there are many reasons you can say why I should use jQuery, but there are most important points which I would like to discuss with you, why jQuery I should use. jQuery library is providing many easy to use functions, means it comes with the collection of predefined functions and methods to make rich web applications. These functions are very easy to learn and even a designer can learn it fast. Nowadays many approaching to work with the jQuery in order to become the programmer for UI web developer. Due to these features, jQuery is very popular and in high demand among all the developers as well as designers too. We can use jQuery in all the web based application irrespective of the technologies such as CGI, Perl, Servlets, JSP, Classic ESP, ASP.NET and almost all the web technologies. So we can say jQuery library is not meant to any specific one technology. Whatever technology we are using in order to develop a web application, in that web application development, whenever we feel to write client-side programming, what programming we used to write earlier using JavaScript, the same programming now we can develop in a very simple manner with easy way by using the library called jQuery, which is the JavaScript library. So jQuery is a universal JavaScript library which can be integrated in any web application development irrespective of the technology, whichever technology a programmer going to use. So it is not specific to particular one technology. Please this point to be noted down. Now the next discussion is what is the purpose of jQuery in my web application development. So as I discussed earlier, based upon that we can describe the point. The purpose of jQuery is to make it much easier to use JavaScript on your website. So whenever you want to use JavaScript on your website for developing a client-side program, that we can make much easy way with the help of a library called jQuery. jQuery is designed to change the way that we write a JavaScript code. Now the next discussion is who's using jQuery? Nowadays in the market, who are the audience? Who are the people using jQuery? So almost all biggest companies has already started working on jQuery, has already implemented into their web development jQuery. Among that, some of the company names I want to highlight with you people, like many companies are using jQuery on the web, including Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Bank of America, BBC, ESPN, CBS News, Dig, Reuters, IBM, Netflix, Dell, Oracle and many more. These all companies are already has started to implement jQuery into their web. So I can say now it is going to be used by almost all the companies into their web to simplify their client side programming, nothing but JavaScript development by using the help of this library. Who should attend to work on jQuery? Of course, web developers who need to get a grips with the key jQuery functionality in order to develop a rich interactive web application. So those people who are working as a web developer who needs to get a grip with the jQuery functionality in order to develop more interactive, richer web application, those people can attend to work on the jQuery. Now the most important parts of the introduction to jQuery is, many people used to ask the question, sir, please tell me what is the feature of jQuery? Means using jQuery, what are the various operations we can perform? So jQuery includes the following features. Feature number 1, DOM element selection functions is the most important. I can say according to my experience, it is a heart and it is a brain of the jQuery. If you remove this feature from the jQuery library is nothing, because whatever operation you want to perform on your document by using the jQuery library, first of all the document and their corresponding elements has to be selected. Once the document and their element is selected, then only we can perform any certain action. So in order to perform any certain action on the document and their elements, first of all the document as well as their elements has to be selected, and for that jQuery provide one feature through which we can do this task, the name called DOM element selection functions. The next one, DOM attributes. This feature deals with the attribute manipulation work. Every HTML document element like a input element, image element, like a H1 element, heading 1, paragraph element, div element has so many attributes. Let's take an example of IMG element, has ID attribute, SRC attribute, alt attribute, title attribute. These all attribute I want to apply at runtime. I want to remove the attribute from the existing page which are running in the running mode. I want to fetch the attribute value. These all operation we can do with the help of some function which comes with the feature called DOM attributes. DOM traversal and DOM manipulation you can say, or DOM traversal and DOM modification you can say. How to traverse to the DOM element which are available into hierarchical structure like a tree like structure, and after traversing to the specific element I would like to modify the element. For that we have a set of functions which comes with the feature DOM traversal and modification or manipulation you can say. Event handling, how to handle the event in jQuery, how to add the event along with the event handler for the any such element, so that whenever the event trigger that particular function to be executed. CSS manipulation, how dynamically we can apply the CSS to our document and document elements, how we can fetch the existing CSS which are already applied on the document and document element. That operation we can handle using the CSS manipulation work. Effects and animation, we would like to provide some graceful effects on the document as well as their element whenever they appear on the page or whenever they disappear on the page. That is comes under effects and animations. jQuery AJAX, we would like to make a AJAX call to the server to fetch some information from server to the client without reloading the whole page. Then we have to work on the such function which is belong to a feature called jQuery AJAX. Extensibility through plugins, I want to extend my jQuery existing functionality by the help of additional library which are made by number of developer and community available in the open source mode, can be used by any people in the world. That is comes under what? Extensibility through plugins. Like I want to create a beautiful menus. I want to create a nothing but accordion in a very better way. I want to create some customized date picker. I want to create a customized dialog boxes. These all we can extend by the help of plugin support. And of course, jQuery library has a cross browser support. So these all are the what features of the jQuery. So last of all, jQuery is extensible as a developer, and as a developer it lets you write plugins. Even though you can write your own plugins, or you can use already existing plugins that can extend the functionality with virtually no limits at all. And we can say jQuery is a quite similar, or I can say quite simply like a Swiss knife, packed with the power, performance, all the while being super easy to use. Now let us discuss the most important part of the in today video sessions. How we can compare. Really jQuery is very easy compared to JavaScript. So I want to demonstrate with one simple example that makes yes jQuery is easy compared to JavaScript. So look at the screen, JavaScript versus jQuery with examples. To make you to understand jQuery is very easy compared to JavaScript, I have taken one piece of code in JavaScript, and that piece of code I am just going to convert into the jQuery, and I want to show the both code of the JavaScript as well as jQuery, so that you can easily compare. Yes, that is somewhat more lines of code and here less line of code. What I want in my example is I want to fetch all the elements on the document which uses a class of class 1, and on those elements I want to append another CSS class. The name is highlight me. So to understand, take a look at this piece of code written in a plain JavaScript. I am writing one first statement where elements, in which I am fetching the all elements of the documents by the class name called class 1. So I have JavaScript function get elements by class name, and these elements I am going to iterate because here coming more than one elements. So I would like to iterate, I would like to make a loop over the elements, and in the loop reading one by one each element, and on that I am going to apply a new class. The name is highlight me by using the property called class name. So we are selecting a number of elements that share the class name class 1, and then we are applying a CSS class called highlight me. Overall it takes about 3 lines of code. First line for fetching the all elements, second line for iterating over the element, loop over the elements, and third line for applying the class onto the existing element. Since the get elements by class name returns a node list, means list of node, list of elements, which like an array, and thus you have to loop over this collection as you append the class name to each node. So this is the style of writing code into the plain JavaScript, and same plain JavaScript code now we can develop in a single line of code by using the help of jQuery library. So have a look to the below. In jQuery this gets reduced to a single concise and simple to understand statement. Not only in this concise, nothing but short, it is also self-explanatory to an extent. Look at my line of code, what I have written here. Dollar of class 1. Dollar is a selector function, we will discuss in detail in the later video session. Dollar is a selector function which allows us to select the all elements which uses a class of class 1, start with the dot symbol, and on those all elements adding the new class by using a predefined method called add class of the new class name, what is it, highlight me. So this entire 3 lines of portion work has become possible with the help of only single line of code. So as a developer point of view, it is easy to understand, it is easy to learn, it is easy to implement, as well as development time is going to be faster in this case, development time is going to be slower in the case of JavaScript. Because development time, why becoming faster in case of jQuery? Because code size is what? Reduced with the only single line. Here code size with how much line? 3 lines. By this way, there are so many examples are there which we can make it to compare it with the JavaScript and what is it? jQuery, in order to understand. So we are coming to the core benefit of jQuery. jQuery has several benefits over using the plain JavaScript. jQuery is a cross-browser support. jQuery is a lot more easy to use than plain JavaScript, as you have seen in the example how much it was easy. jQuery is a lightweight and faster access. jQuery is extensible. jQuery simplifies and it has rich AJAX support. jQuery has large development community and many plugin support. jQuery has a wide range of plugins available for various specific needs. Excellent documentation work. jQuery is a more SEO friendly, nothing but search engine optimization. jQuery is an open source library. It is open for anybody. Entire source code you can see what it has been written by the author and their teammates. Web developers use jQuery to make their web pages more exciting, more interactive you can say, more cleaner you can say, and more user friendly. That makes your page to go in a one factor, that is called wow factor. Means if any end user look at your page with all the powerful functionality which are getting performed at client side, they should say from their mouth, wow, what a page. So that factor to create, we can use what is that? jQuery library. So now the next discussion is what jQuery is not. What jQuery is not, the point you need to understand, because there is a lots of myths and perceptions are there for all the beginners who hear first time jQuery. jQuery is a new language. jQuery is an advanced programming language. jQuery is a replacement of JavaScript. jQuery is a framework software. The all of the perceptions are running in the market for those people who are hearing first time jQuery in order to learn that, mainly all beginners. So I want to highlight 3 points over here. jQuery is not a new language. jQuery is not a framework software. jQuery is not a replacement for JavaScript. So don't think jQuery is an advanced programming language. No, jQuery is not a new language. It is just JavaScript library which runs on the top of the JavaScript. In a similar way, it is not meant to replace the JavaScript. It cannot replace JavaScript because jQuery code is still called JavaScript code. Why? Because jQuery code to be written with the help of JavaScript language only, but the code what we are writing using jQuery, that makes our JavaScript code to be very much simple and easy by reducing the line of code and very easy to understand. Likewise, the purpose of jQuery is to make JavaScript coding simpler and faster, and likewise jQuery should not be confused with the term framework. Somebody say jQuery is a framework software, but not. According to my experience, is not a framework software. It is just a JavaScript library. Why? Like framework like AngularJS. AngularJS, I hope somebody heard, it comes under the framework software. Is nothing but JavaScript framework software from the Google Corporation. Take full command over your web applications design, workflow, and data architecture, including the DOM. Everything's are covered in that. jQuery is a library and it is used for making DOM manipulation easier and faster. So jQuery is a library which has been focused in the market mainly for the DOM manipulation, more easy and the faster. So what is the final conclusion? jQuery is not a new programming language or not a programming language at all. jQuery does not mean for replacement of JavaScript. jQuery is not a framework, or you can say jQuery is an alternative option for writing the plain JavaScript code in a better way and in a very simple and easy way. Now we are summarizing the entire jQuery. jQuery is a fast and feature-rich JavaScript library. It simplifies and brings brevity and clarity to JavaScript code. It helps you to play with the plenty of components of the document like CSS, manipulation with the DOM, and simplify AJAX operations. Cuts down the development time to accelerate your development to be more faster. Efficiently eliminates all the cross-browser incompatibility problem because it has support of cross-browser. So, no incompatibility with the cross-browser. It is extensible via some plugin support. It is used on a huge number of websites across the internet world. It has a huge developer and community support. It is supported by some of the biggest company and developers worldwide. As I discussed in earlier few minutes back, there are many companies working on the what is a jQuery already into their development of the web. The last point of today's video session is we need to start to work on jQuery library in our web development. So before I used to start on jQuery library to use in my website development, do I need to have any prior knowledge before going to work on jQuery? Answer is yes. What? ASP.NET? No. PHP? No. It's not mandatory you should know these all web technology. In order to work on the jQuery, you should have some prior knowledge. Those knowledge are nothing but number one, good understanding of HTML that deals with the what? Entire content of the page. Some experience working with what is that? CSS that deals with the what? A style sheet. And the last one, bit experience to work with what is that? JavaScript. If you know more JavaScript, it is always good for you. But even if you know the basic awareness of JavaScript, at least all syntactical things in JavaScript, that is more than enough to start working with the jQuery. But how much knowledge you gain in JavaScript, that much of knowledge is going to be benefited into the jQuery. That deals with the what is that? Client side script. So what is the final conclusion? In order to work on the jQuery library in our website development, we should have a prior knowledge of few things. Number one, HTML that deals with the content of the page, CSS that deals with the style sheet, JavaScript that deals with the client side script. This is all about today video sessions. In the next video session, we will be discussing about downloading and installing and using in our website development jQuery library. Thank you for joining Naresh Technology video session, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and please comment with your valuable suggestion. Thank you very much. See you in the next video session.